your brain reacts to silence like a threat. In the first few seconds of nothing happening, your mind fires an internal alarm, because emptiness feels unsafe. That micro-panic is why your hand automatically reaches for your phone before you even realize it. And here's the twist: the real enemy isn't the device in your pocket. It's the fact that you can't sit with boredom for more than a heartbeat. Boredom exposes you. In this video, you're going to learn Robert Greene's hidden lesson on boredom, the one almost everyone misunderstands. He argues that boredom isn't a flaw in your brain. It's a skill, a strength, a doorway to focus that most people never walk through. And the payoff is simple but life-changing. Master boredom, and you instantly increase your focus, discipline, and long-term fulfillment. This changes everything. Quick challenge: be brutally honest with yourself. When was the last time you sat in boredom for 10 uninterrupted minutes? And didn't pick up your phone, open a new tab, or distract yourself with something easy? Most people can't make it even 90 seconds without stimulation. So before we go deeper, drop your answer in the comments. Think of it as a personal scorecard for your focus resilience. Your honesty is the first step. The hidden fear behind nothing happening. Ever notice how silence almost feels threatening? The moment your environment gets quiet, your brain activates an ancient alarm system designed to scan for danger. It's the same mechanism that once protected us from predators, now misfiring when you're simply sitting alone with your thoughts. That's why the first taste of boredom feels uncomfortable. It's your mind begging for stimulation so it can escape uncertainty. But here's the shift: that discomfort is not a flaw, it's a doorway. Emptiness is power. If you can sit with that initial resistance for even 60 seconds, you begin retraining your nervous system. Practice 1 minute of intentional stillness each day, no escape allowed. Why boredom feels physically uncomfortable. Here's a surprising truth: boredom isn't just a mood, it's a biological drop in dopamine. Your brain is addicted to micro-rewards, and when the stream stops, you experience a mini withdrawal that feels like restlessness. That physical unease is why you reach for your phone, snacks, notifications, or anything that gives a quick hit of stimulation. Two forces cause the discomfort: low dopamine and high craving. Craving creates chaos. But once you recognize the bodily sensation for what it is, temporary, you stop seeing boredom as the enemy. When boredom hits, observe the feeling like a scientist for 10 seconds before reacting. It rebuilds focus faster than motivation ever will. The pattern that shapes your entire life. Let me flip a common belief: your future isn't shaped by motivation or inspiration, it's shaped by how you respond to boredom. Robert Greene argues that boredom becomes the blueprint of your life. If your reflex is to escape the moment things get tedious, you're training yourself to quit every time growth becomes uncomfortable. But if you lean in, even slightly, you create a pattern of persistence that compounds for decades. 2 choices, 2 destinies. Persistence beats stimulation. Every time you resist the urge to escape, you're upgrading your long-term potential. Identify 1 task you routinely avoid and push through 5 extra minutes today. The instant gratification loop. Picture this: you hit a moment of boredom, and your brain instantly screams for a dopamine rescue. You grab your phone, open a new tab, check messages, or chase some tiny hit of pleasure, almost automatically. That loop strengthens every time you repeat it. Eventually, your brain associates boredom with emergency, not opportunity. 2 behaviors, 1 cycle. Escape becomes weakness. The way out is simple but not easy: delay the craving. Even a 60-second pause breaks the loop and weakens the compulsion. When the urge to distract hits, mentally say, "Wait 1 minute," and do nothing. The learning wall: why every skill feels tedious. Here's a truth most people never hear: every meaningful skill, piano, tennis, algebra, coding, comes packaged with long stretches of boredom. Mastery isn't exciting daily, it's repetitive, slow, and full of plateaus. But that tedium is evidence that your brain is rewiring itself. Progress often hides behind boredom. Growth lives in repetition. People who quit interpret boredom as a sign they're failing. People who persist understand it's a sign they're close to leveling up. When a skill feels dull, label the moment. This is the wall. Then continue for 5 more intentional reps. Greene's meditation lesson on emptiness. Robert Greene describes meditation as confronting pure emptiness, no distractions, no stimulation, nowhere for the mind to hide. As soon as he sits down, a flood of thoughts tries to pull him out, reminders, worries, little tasks, tiny temptations. That mental noise is your brain resisting boredom because boredom exposes its addiction to stimulation. Silence reveals everything. Stillness is strength. Meditation trains the exact muscle you need to master focus, the ability to notice a thought and let it pass without chasing it. Try a daily 3-minute sit where you do nothing except observe thoughts as they appear. The voice of distraction versus the power of silence. The moment you enter silence, your mind starts whispering. Check your phone. Answer that message. Fix that thing. It's not random. That voice is your brain trying to escape the discomfort of stillness. But when you recognize the voice as just noise, something shifts. You stop identifying with it. You regain authority. Noise is not truth. Silence is clarity. Clarity cuts noise. When you separate your identity from your impulses, boredom transforms from an enemy into a doorway to presence. When thoughts arise, label them. Thinking. Then gently return to stillness. Why modern humans are the most distracted animal alive. Humans are unique. We invented boredom, and we're also the creatures who fear it the most. Animals experience momentary restlessness, but humans endure deep psychological boredom because we possess imagination, uncertainty, and unchecked desire. As Kierkegaard noted, boredom drives most human behavior, yet we treat it like a defect instead of a signal. 2 capacities, 1 struggle. Imagination creates craving. Once you understand this, boredom stops feeling like a personal flaw. It's simply the cost of being human. When boredom appears, say, "This is normal." Then choose one intentional action instead of escape. The productivity advantage hidden inside boredom. Think about this. Boredom isn't a dead zone, it's unused mental energy waiting for direction. When you resist the urge to escape, that energy gets rerouted into focus, creativity, and deeper problem solving. The people who outperform everyone else aren't more talented, they're simply better at enduring the empty moments, where others bail out. 2 reactions, 2 outcomes. Endurance builds advantage. When you channel boredom into deliberate action, you transform dead time into productive power. When boredom hits, ask, "What's the most useful thing I can do right now?" The habit that separates masters from dabblers. There's a reason masters in any field, music, martial arts, writing, push through long stretches of monotony. They understand that every plateau is an invitation, not a problem. Dabblers quit as soon as progress slows. Masters lean in because they know boredom signals the start of a new level. Plateaus hide breakthroughs. Mastery requires monotony. Every time you continue past the moment boredom appears, you widen the gap between you and the average person. Commit to a boredom buffer. Keep working for 10% longer after you feel the urge to stop. Before we go deeper, pause for a second. If you're starting to realize that your lack of focus isn't a discipline issue, but a boredom issue, hit the subscribe button. This channel is for people who want to master their attention, not lose it. Your focus deserves protection. The boredom, addiction connection. Here's a powerful truth. Boredom is the trigger behind most modern addictions. Not just substances, notifications, scrolling, gaming, constant stimulation. Your brain hates the dip in dopamine, so it seeks the fastest, easiest hit available. The problem isn't the craving itself, it's the automatic reaction to it. When you escape boredom immediately, you reinforce dependency. 2 urges, 1 decision. Reaction creates addiction. Break the chain, and you weaken the craving's power over time. Next time boredom hits, say out loud, "I'm craving stimulation," and wait 30 seconds. The myth of motivation first. Motivation is the biggest lie sold to people who want to focus. If you wait to feel inspired, you'll never build anything meaningful, because real progress is built on repetition, most of which feels boring. High performers aren't motivated all the time, they simply show up when the task feels dull. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the engine. Action beats inspiration. Once you stop waiting for excitement, your productivity doubles almost instantly. Choose one task today and commit to starting it without waiting for motivation. Why focus isn't lost, it's overstimulated. Most people think their focus is broken, but the real issue is overstimulation. When you jump between apps, tabs, notifications, and tiny dopamine hits all day, your brain becomes numb to anything that doesn't provide instant excitement. You didn't lose focus, you drowned it under noise. Too much input kills attention. Silence resets clarity. Reduce stimulation, and suddenly your baseline focus returns faster than you expect. Do a daily attention reset, 10 minutes with no apps, no tabs, no noise. The boredom threshold for deep work. Every deep work session has a predictable pattern. The first few minutes feel dull, uncomfortable, and mentally slow. That's not failure, it's the mind shedding stimulation. Once you pass this boredom threshold, focus sharpens, creativity increases, and time starts disappearing. Writers call this the click. Coders call it flow. But it only arrives after resisting the impulse to escape. Depth comes after discomfort. Flow follows friction. The ones who stay through the boring first phase unlock the state everyone else is chasing. Set a timer for 20 minutes and refuse all stimulation until it ends. The discomfort window that unlocks discipline. Let's be honest, discipline isn't built when things are easy. It's built in the tiny windows of discomfort where your mind begs you to stop. Boredom is one of those windows. When you extend that window, even slightly, you develop mental toughness that spills into every area of life: fitness, learning, business, relationships. Discomfort is training. Strength grows quietly. Every extra moment you stay with boredom is a rep for your discipline muscle. At 30 seconds to any moment you feel like quitting, you're building resilience. How boredom becomes creative power. Ever wonder why your best ideas show up in the shower, on a walk, or in silence? It's because boredom clears the mental clutter that normally suffocates creativity. When the mind finally stops chasing stimulation, it begins connecting ideas that were already inside you. Emptiness becomes fertile ground. Silence fuels imagination. Creativity needs space. If you're constantly consuming, you're blocking the very insights you're searching for. Schedule one daily, quiet gap, 5 minutes of no input, no devices, just open mental space. Rebuilding your relationship with emptiness. Most people fear emptiness because it feels like nothing happening. But Greene teaches that emptiness is actually one of the rare conditions where the mind can reset, reorganize, and strengthen. When you stop seeing boredom as a void and start seeing it as a container, everything changes. It becomes a place where you can think clearly, evaluate your life, and refine your direction. Emptiness isn't absence, it's capacity. Space reveals truth. And the more comfortable you become with that space, the more control you gain over your days. Practice 1. Micro-empty moment. Daily, stare out a window for 60 seconds. The long-term fulfillment shift. Here's the final twist. Boredom tolerance doesn't just improve focus, it shapes your entire life trajectory. Quick stimulation gives tiny bursts of pleasure, but mastery gives long-lasting fulfillment. One fades instantly, the other compounds. People who embrace boredom build careers, skills, and identities that endure. People who avoid it drift. 2 paths, 1 truth. Fulfillment beats stimulation. When you choose the slow reward over the quick hit, you change who you become. Ask yourself, am I choosing long-term fulfillment or short-term stimulation? Then act accordingly. Boredom isn't your enemy. It's your training ground. It's the quiet space where focus grows, where discipline forms, and where mastery begins. The moment you stop running from emptiness is the moment you reclaim your mind from the constant pull of stimulation. If you want to take the next step, watch the video appearing on your screen. It dives deeper into why attention is becoming the most valuable currency of your life, and how to multiply yours starting today. Your focus is your future.